Hey guys, this is Dr. Adam Wheeler at Big Tree Medical Home. And I want to do a fun little experiment over the next few weeks. Basically, I want to video blog through my daughter's ACL repair. Okay, this is definitely me taking advantage of a horrible situation. If any of you knows personally, Noelle, my oldest daughter, is a high school soccer player, and she tore her ACL. And I am a doctor, pediatrician by training, and I now run a company called Big Tree Medical Home, which tries to create low-cost health solutions for patients and companies. And so I'm in this world about healthcare reform, healthcare payment reform, doing healthcare better and cheaper. I have an MBA, I negotiate insurance deals, I'm constantly working on lower cost ways to do healthcare. And so I, of all people, should have a really easy time getting my daughter through such a situation at an affordable cost. So I'm going to walk you guys through it, video kind of step by step, so you can watch my experience. I think this is probably going to turn into me complaining about the stupidity of the system. I think it's probably going to be what this is. But anyway, I think it'll be entertaining. We're going to be doing this live step by step. So you'll get to enjoy or cringe with me as this happens. So I'll tell you where we're at so far. Noelle's about 10 days out from her surgery, or from her accident. She was playing soccer, and the refs were not calling anything, and all the dads are yelling on the sidelines, if you don't call stuff, somebody's going to get hurt. And then, yeah. So we saw one of my partners, who is a sports medicine fellowship trained family medicine physician, and he was very suspicious that she had torn her ACL, and we got an MRI done here locally at a place called Advanced Radiology, which has good pricing and good radiologists and good facilities. Our insurance situation, so we do not have health insurance. We have a health, it's basically like a health share plan called Sedera. And Sedera, we have to pay the first $500 of an episode. So her hurting her knee is an episode, and then they pay everything after that. Okay, that's how it works. And we've worked with them on, hundreds and hundreds of patients myself, and then I've had issues that they helped us pay costs on, and so it's usually a really great system. They're great to work with. So far, again, I'm going to be honest and walk you guys through this, and we're going to do this kind of step by step. So I'm getting ready to talk to my member advisor, because I just got the first phone call from Columbia Orthopedic Group. So we took Noelle to kind of the best surgeon around, Dr. Smith at Columbia Orthopedic Group. He's worked on Olympic athletes and NFL players, and he's the stuff. He doesn't know during the conversation who I am. No reason to. He doesn't know that I'm a doctor. He doesn't know that I know a lot of his partners, that I sit on a board with some of his partners in an endeavor they're on. He doesn't know any of that stuff, which is great. I don't expect him to. At the end, we started talking about how I work on this stuff, and so then he started asking me some questions actually about Sedera. So went and saw him. We had our MRI done already, which showed the ACL tear, and he confirmed that was indeed what was going on, and recommended a particular surgical procedure, a particular approach to a surgical procedure, and got an extra x-ray to make sure that there was not a fracture in the bone. Now, I'm a doctor. He's the world-class expert, but I'm not an orthopedic surgeon. I'm certainly not in his league on orthopedic stuff, let alone knee stuff, let alone sport injuries. And so I completely just have to take his word that we need the x-ray and we need to have this extra guy come in. And I don't know if that extra guy doing these extra tests is costing me money, if it's helpful, if it's I mean, I know we're enrolled in a research study. Is that so? Money never comes into the conversation. Which again, the way I was trained in med school, it wasn't supposed to. All right. So the money person calls me today and says, "I understand you guys are cash pay. The cost is gonna be like some $6,000. Once I get the actual thing, I'll do another one of these and we'll talk about it." It's like $6,000 to get an ACL repair. I had looked this up on healthcarebluebook.com, which is a great resource for kind of figuring out what things should cost, and it had priced about $10,000, which to be honest was cheaper than I thought it was going to be too. And so I'm like, wow. They're like, no, that's with your 30% cash pay discount, and we will need a payment as soon as possible. And I'm like, really? You're just expecting me to have $6,000-$7,000 cash laying around? Because okay, I may or may not, but most people don't. And she was like, yep. I said, so you would refuse care to someone who's not going to pay cash? No. So then she hedges and she's like, well, we'd have you pay half up front. And I'm like, okay, well, what if I didn't want to pay half up front? And they were like, well, we could probably still work with you, but the surgery center definitely wouldn't. They would send you somewhere else. And so then I started asking some more questions. Turns out the $6,000, it was like $6,900 or something, was just for the surgeon. Okay, so the surgery center and the anesthesia center and the medical equipment were all separate bills. Now the surgery center is owned by the surgeon, okay, but not affiliated with this particular entity. So the surgeon owns both, but the company she worked for didn't. She didn't work with both of them. So she's like, I should probably have them call you. And I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, I mean, this thing I'm buying here, my daughter's new knee, is going to cost as much as a car, right? And so I'm like, this is like somebody who's, you go to buy the car and they say, oh, the car is going to be $6,000. And you had looked up and you thought the car was probably going to cost $15,000. And you're like, this is like a really good deal, right? And then they're like, oh, but you probably are going to want to buy a motor with your car. And you're like, well, yeah, I want the motor and tires. Do I have to buy tires too? Like, oh yeah, tires are a separate deal. You're like, so I have to go somewhere else? No, we've got that on site. We own the motor company and the tire company too. But, I don't work for that company. So you'll have to have another conversation. It's ludicrous the way this thing works. Okay, and I understand why it works this way. And I'm assuming that if I were creating an orthopedic system, that I would create the same one that exists. Okay, because given the incentives that are in place, is the smartest way to put it together. Okay, so there's no blame here. It just, from a consumer perspective, it's completely ludicrous. It's completely ludicrous. Okay, so anyway, so all I got was an estimate on part of the bill, and then was told that I had to come up with the cash now. Okay, so anyway, so the way our health share plan works, I need to talk to my member advisor, and then they encourage us not to pay anything up front, right? Because what they're going to do is after we get the surgery, then they're going to call and negotiate that bill. I'm assuming I'm going to ask them what they want me to do. But anyway, the whole thing is completely jacked up on the healthcare side. By the way, I have no idea because he walked me through this several different ways, and I'm, even though I'm a doctor, I'm completely at his mercy to know if these are the right things. If it's one of these options could have been 99% as good and cost 1/10 the cost, right? So this isn't true, but as an example, because these things do exist in healthcare, okay, that it's almost as good and cost $500 instead of $5,000, right? It's 99% as good, but it costs 10x more, 10x less. those things are out there. We could talk about colonoscopies for cancer screening for normal risk people as a great example of that. But I have no idea. I have no idea what the price difference is on these different options he gave me. I'm blessed in that I can just, if that's the best thing for my daughter's knee, I can just pay for it. But a lot of people aren't. Most people aren't, right? So that was fascinating and a bit frustrating, to be honest. Anyway, so this is going to be a little adventure. If any of you guys want to join me on this, I think it'll be fun. It'll be fun walking through the Sedera program. It'll be fun walking through Columbia Orthopedic Group, which is a big, well-known, excellent establishment in their payment processes and just the ludicrousy of healthcare payments. And we'll kind of walk through this on video over the next few weeks. Feel free to shoot questions or comments in the feed if that's helpful. All right, so wish us luck. It should be fun.